Okay, so this video is basically about Genki, which is the first book of elementary Japanese. And now this video is a self-study. I've already taken a Japanese class, so I know a little bit about Japanese. But I am intending on relearning it. And this is just me self-studying it and hopefully sharing that with you. Now, this video is not for complete beginners. It's very important that you know at least a little bit of hiragana and at least somewhat kanji, the basic kanji, um, before you get started. But once you get started with that, you can continue on from there. So let's go ahead and get started with roughly chapter 1. Okay. So it says new friends. Oh, and also you can get this book on archive.org. Okay. So new friends. Mary, an international student who just arrived in Japan, talks to a Japanese student. すみません。今何時ですか？ 12 時半です。ありがとうございます。いいえ。留学生ですか？ええ、アリゾナ大学の学生です。そうですか。専門は何ですか？日本語です。今、2年生です。Excuse me, what time is it now? It's 12:30. Thank you, you're welcome. Are you an international student? Yes, I am a student at the University of Arizona. I see, what is your major? Japanese. I am a sophomore now. Now, before we go into the vocabulary, one good resource for learning Japanese is called Irashai. Irashai, which is a video series on PBS. It basically goes through different grammar points in Japanese. I've watched up to, it looks like I watched up to about 63 videos of this. They're not that long. And let me just click on one and so you can see it.
このシリアルを買いました。中に何か入ってますよ。なんでしょう。どこですか？あれ？
So yeah, that's a good resource that you can go to. Now here is the vocabulary words. Now when I study Genki, I use Quizlet in order to study the vocabulary words. So let me pull up Quizlet. So basically, give me 1 second and I'm gonna get into Quizlet, and then I'll just show you how to get some flashcards, and then you can use that to study your Japanese vocabulary. Okay, so basically, once you sign in or sign up, it goes down and you have your courses and things like that. And then this is just my history of vocabulary. Now you don't have to. You can make your own flashcards by going here, clicking to the plus sign, study set, create a new study set, and then you just put in the word. You put in the word here, and then the definition, the English, Japanese here. and then you can study that way. The second thing you can do is to actually just search the vocabulary terms. So you have Genki chapter 1. And by the way, Genki means like to be lively. But that's the name of the book. Okay, so you have Genki 1 chapter 1. And you put study, view set. I liked it to learn the ones that had pictures on it. But it's up to you. And this is completely free. So you have the vocabulary words, the definitions, and things like that. And then you can just study it. Flashcards. So my process was to click learn. I would learn it until I got a hang of all of the words. I would usually do it in sets. So I would go like star, 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 star. I would do like 10, 15 vocabulary words, and then I would learn them. So high school, koko, here it is. And then I'll click on it, language, tango or go. Tango is word, go is go. And then will be ano, ego, height, or ima, gakse. And then after you've learned the vocabulary words, the next thing I would do would be flashcards, to make sure that I actually understand what I just learned. So basically, I would do and then I would click on it, and it'll be ano, and then I would go to the next page, and I would do now, and then ima, and so on and so forth. And then lastly, I mean, I know it seems like a lot, but if you want to become fluent in the language, you definitely have to keep practicing over and over and over again, until you start to think in that language. So next you will be write, and that's the only three that I use. Sometimes I use test, but most of the time I will use write. Here at the bottom I have the Japanese keyboard, so I know. I know. And then you would have what it was. In this case, it's business. So business is business, which was correct, and then so on and so forth. Now, one thing I do want to say is it can be very case sensitive, but other than that, I really do recommend Quizlet for learning the vocabulary. So once you learn the vocabulary, it's easier to learn the grammar. One thing I learned about learning the vocabulary is that even if it's hard, I mean, even if you don't understand the grammar that well, once you start practicing it in correlation with the practice problems, the grammar starts to make sense. So it's good to just learn the grammar first and then go back. Then go forward. More practice, then go back and reread the grammar, then go back and practice again. Again, it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time, but if you want to learn Japanese, then I highly suggest it. So the first grammar point is X, Y des. And I will just read through this. Question sentences. Like for instance, Denwa bango wa nan desu ka? And then you have 186の734の343です。Okay. Now, no, now, which is basically to show that it possession. and then that is the main thing. Okay, and now lastly, practice. Now, practice is where you actually get the real bulk of your learning experience. Everything else is prerequisites to that practice. It's definitely a lot of back and forth. But once you get that practice in there, you're good to go. And in